Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, gonna finish up my mid-year top 10s, doing probably my favorite division in boxing, the heavyweight division. It's always been my favorite division, no matter what. It's the division I fell in love with Mike Tyson, and even when it was at its worst, or not as entertaining, let's say that, when the Klitschko brothers ruled the division for all those years, I was still into it, still watching all the heavyweights and knowing all the guys, on the rise and behind the scenes and all that. So, gonna jump into my top 10 here. Not a lot of change, but, enough in the news that's coming with it. So, let's, again, guys, make sure you check out my podcast. Episode 2 is up. It's been up for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. I'm really proud of it. I'm really trying to get the information out there. It's about an hour long. You can listen to it in pieces. It's pretty good. Just check it out. We go over a lot of different topics, a lot of fights that are coming up on the radar, all that kind of stuff. And I'll be coming out with episode 3 coming up here soon. So let's jump into the top 10 heavyweights right now for me at the midweight point. We'll start with number 10. Well, we got a two-way tie for 10th now. First up is Joyce, the undefeated rising contender. Joyce actually stole a spot right at the before I was able to post, put my top 10s, because I was late to the party doing my top 10s. I didn't have them done at the end of June, so I was rolling into, obviously it's almost at the end of July now when I'm releasing them. But Joyce finishes tied. He took on Carlos Takam, and former world title challenger, stopped him in the 6th round of a fight that he was winning. He got hit early and really tested, but he weathered that storm. He was winning the fight. Most people feel he was going to win the fight, even though the fight was stopped prematurely. That most people feel that way, but good performance for him nonetheless, and he pushes forward now. Now, there was talks of him possibly fighting Derek Chisora, but Chisora has come out and said he's not interested in that fight. He wants a rematch with Joseph Parker. So we'll see what happens going forward for Joyce. But I think sky's the limit for this guy. He could really make a dent and everything, and we'll see who they match him up against next, because I'm really interested. Tied with him for 10th is Derek Chisora. Chisora, last year he took on Alexander Usyk, gave him hell for a little bit, got outworked, lost the decision. He bounced back against Joseph Parker in a fight that I really thought he was going to get cleanly outboxed in, and he fought his ass off. He actually fought Parker very tough, and it went to the scorecards and was a split decision for Parker. That was a close fight. It could have went either way. Chisora continues to show that he's more than a gatekeeper, as I called him at the beginning of the year. He's more than that. He is a souped-up gatekeeper, I'm going to call him right now. But he wants the rematch with Parker. He's willing to pretty much fight anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in there with a top 10 guy next for sure, even a rematch with Parker. We'll see what happens. Number 9 is Michael Hunter, the former world title challenger. He moves up one spot from number 10. Michael Hunter's actually fighting on a Triller pay-per-view card that's coming up, taking on some kind of nobody. He's continuing to struggle to land opponents. He was supposed to fight Filip Hrgovic in an IBF eliminator, and he backed out of that fight, surprisingly. So Michael Hunter, he's struggling to find an opponent, but he had a big-time final eliminator set up with Hrgovic, and he backed out of that. So little surprised by that. Hopefully Michael Hunter can get himself into some kind of top 10 fight, at least get one made before the end of the year. Number 8 is Joseph Parker, the former WBO champ. He moves up one spot from number 9. Parker, as I said, took on Derek Chisora. Got a harder than expected 12-round decision over Chisora. He keeps moving forward towards a possible title shot. I think they're going to try to set up a rematch between Parker and Chisora. It makes sense for Parker, because even if he was waiting around for a title shot, he's not going to get it next against any of the champions. So why not go and prove that he is legitimately better than Chisora and fight him in a rematch? He's going to make a lot of money doing it, so why not? Should be good. But I think that's probably the direction he's leaning heading into the second half of the year. Still number 7 is former world title challenger Luis Ortiz. Ortiz, we still don't know what he's doing next. We don't know if he's getting Ruiz Jr. I still think that's a big possibility for him, but nothing's in concrete. Right now it's all just speculation. We really don't know. I know he wants that fight. He got a win earlier this year. Ruiz came back and got a hard-fought win against Chris Arreola. So does Andy Ruiz really want that fight? Does he want that smoke? I would love to see it. I hope it happens. If not, I hope somebody grows some balls and crosses the street and is willing to fight Luis Ortiz in the second half of the year in a big fight. He's 41. Roll the dice, see what happens. You never know. Number 6 is the undefeated and former undisputed champion Alexander Usyk. He remains number 6, and his moment is here. The biggest fight of his career is taking place on Saturday, September 25th. His mandatory title shot is getting cashed in. He's taking on Anthony Joshua. Joshua was supposed to fight Tyson Fury, but when a court judge, arbitration judge, ruled that Fury had to fight Deontay Wilder for a third time in September, or before September, Fury's camp pulled out and had to go, was obligated to take that fight with Wilder, and that left Joshua in, he pretty much had to make a mandatory against Usyk. No problem. That's a big fight right there. I can't wait to see it. Usyk, I think he's got a real shot. I think he's a live underdog. He's a great boxer. He's definitely undersized for Joshua, but you never know. Usyk's great. He's a former Olympic gold medalist. He's, he's only won his whole career so far, and big time wins. He took over the cruiserweight division. He won the World Boxing Super Series tournament. This is a competitor. This guy is hungry, and I think it's going to be a good fight. September 25th on DAZN. I will give my prediction when we get to Anthony Joshua on this list. Number 5 is the former unified champion Andy Ruiz Jr. Well, Ruiz returned for the first time after almost a year and a half off since losing the title back to Anthony Joshua in their rematch, and he took on former world title challenger Chris Arreola. Most were expecting this to be, a one-sided win for Ruiz, and it just wasn't. He got hurt. He got put down against Arreola early. It was an all-out Mexican brawl, and they went toe-to-toe, but Ruiz outworked him. He did a little bit better than the 40-year-old Arreola, and he walked away with a deserving but way harder than expected 12-round decision over Chris Arreola. What does Ruiz do next? The fight with Wilder, not going to happen now that Wilder's fighting Fury for a third time in October. And, so that leaves Luis Ortiz. Why not fight him? I hope this is the fight he was talking about last year. I really hope he's willing to fight him and go at it with Ortiz. I think that's a great matchup. I hope to see it. I hope Andy Ruiz gets some kind of a top 10 guy next. We'll see what goes down. Number 4 is former world title is former two-time interim champion Dillian White. He moves up 4 spots from number 8. He came into the year coming off that brutal upset knockout loss to Alexander Povetkin, and he bounced back in impressive fashion, knocking out Povetkin in their rematch, dominating him and stopping him, forcing Povetkin to retire. And, a good way to shake off that win. He throws himself back in the mix that he's very serious. We don't know what he's going to do next. There's talks about him fighting just kind of a subpar opponent while he waits around for the possibility of fighting the winner of Fury and Wilder, even though most people feel Fury, if he beats Wilder again, will fight Anthony Joshua if Joshua beats Usyk. So I think Dillian White needs to look around for another opponent, another solid opponent. Why not him and Andy Ruiz cross the street, make the fight? I don't know. We'll see. Why not him and Luis Ortiz? Why not him and Joseph Parker again, or Michael Hunter? I'd love to see Dillian White take on any of those guys. He's been fearless up to this point. Why wait around and, waste time? Go fight the big names and corner these champions and make them fight you. We'll see. Number 3 is the former longtime heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder. Wilder is getting his wish. Saturday, October 9th, he gets the 3rd installment with Tyson Fury. It was supposed to happen in July 24th, actually. It was supposed to happen. The Fury camp came down with COVID, and the fight has been postponed and put back on for October 9th now on pay-per-view. Big time fight for Deontay Wilder right here. He has a chance at redemption. He definitely is a live underdog going in. He's got a big chance with that power of his, and it's going to be the same amount of time out of the ring, so it's not like it, but it's a long layoff. I worry about stamina with Wilder and how he can handle if he has to go into the late rounds. We'll see what happens Saturday, October 9th on pay-per-view. Make sure you're paying attention. I'll give my prediction when we get to Tyson Fury. Number 2 is the unified heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua. Well, we almost saw the undisputed title fight with him and Tyson Fury take place in August. Deontay Wilder ruined that when a court arbitration judge ruled that Wilder and Fury had to fight for a third time. Joshua, that fight, still might happen in early 2022, but Joshua and Fury have to get past their opponents. Joshua doesn't have an easy task. Saturday, September 25th on DAZN, he's taking on the man, Alexander Usyk, the former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world and the 2012 Olympic gold medalist. I can't wait to see this fight. I think it's going to be great. I'm picking, I think Joshua's going to win the fight. I think he's too strong and too big, but I really wouldn't be surprised if Usyk catches him and possibly outboxes him. I think it's possible, but I think Joshua's so big and he has such a good jab and he sets his punches up well that I think he's going to take his time. He's going to break down Usyk. Usyk's going to feel some real power. I see Usyk going down in possibly the late rounds. It could go to a decision where he has a better chance of winning. I think he even has a chance of scoring a knockout if he can wear down Joshua, but I think Joshua's focused. I think he's taking this fight serious. I think Joshua's going to win, but it's going to be a good fight. It's not a cakewalk. Saturday, September 25th on DAZN. And now, still number 1 is the undefeated WBC heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury. Fury was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder July 24th. Originally, he had a fight with Joshua planned. He had to pull out of that and fight Wilder for a third time. We've already covered that. Now they're fighting October 9th. His whole camp came down with COVID. October 9th, he's heading in the favorite for the first time in a major fight. He's been in 3 major top-tier fights in his career. He's coming to underdog every time, and he's went 2-0-1 in those fights. Now he's coming in the favorite. How's that going to affect him going into favorite against Wilder? Personally, I think he's going to beat Wilder again. I think he's going to box Wilder and press him a little bit, wear him down. They're going to get to the late rounds. He's going to stop Wilder, retaining his title and pushing forward towards that big fight, hopefully with Anthony Joshua in early 2022. So that's it. That's everything. That's the heavyweight division and all of my mid-year top 10s. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love doing this stuff. True boxing. You've been hit with the truth.